Hey everybody, this is David here, aka Chessman, and today we're going to look at some chess games by the greatest players in the world. Um, basically, um, one problem I come across of is how do you choose which openings to study? And I think one way of doing that is just to look at what the best players in the world play. They're the best at the game. They've thought about the strategy more than anybody else, except maybe some coaches. Maybe they've thought of strategy more, but for some reason these players are the best in the world. So they've done all the homework. So until we're as good as them, we should copy them. That's the best we can do. The other day we looked at Magnus Carlsen's games. He's number one. So today we're going to look at number two, Hikaru Nakamura. So if you go to 365chess.com, there's a lot of tools that are just about all of them are free. They do ask for donations, but what you do is you scroll to the bottom of the page and you can look up tournaments. You could look up players by rating. That's what we're going to do today, players by rating. And then it pulls up this page. It says Magnus Carlsen is number one, Hikaru Nakamura is number two, Fabiano's number three. So we're going to click on Hikaru Nakamura. It has a whole page about him. When you scroll down, it shows all his games from the latest. And what we're going to look at are the games from the Clutch Chess Champions. And what you can do, first off, if you click here, you can see the entire game and play it. And you can use the engine analysis to tell you if the moves are any good. It also lets you know which opening they've played, that they're playing, and that's what we're going to look at. I'm going to go back because there's another feature, an easier way to look at what opening they used. And if you go to this column where it says ECO code, you can literally click on it and it shows you what the opening was. So that's all we're going to do today. I believe there's 18 games, so we're not going to spend too much time in each game. We're just trying to get the meat and the potatoes, which is what opening did they use. For some reason, they used all their strategy and all their know-how to come up and choose these specific openings to play with, to play against the best players in the world. And by the way, this tournament, I'll just click on it. It was called the Clutch Chess Champions. And there were only 4 players. Magnus Carlsen, who's number 1 in the world, Hikaru Nakamura, which is number 2 in the world, Fabiano Caruana, which is number 3 in the world, and Gukesh, who is the world champion. So these openings, if they're good enough for the best players in the world, then they're good enough for our games, for sure. All right. So it's enough talking. Let's see what openings they played. So the first game says B38. So get your notebooks out, and either if you have a photographic memory, then just keep watching the video over and over. I have to watch it like 6 or 7 times for it to really sink in. I'm slow. So I'm just going to play the opening. So the first opening is called the B38 Sicilian Accelerated Fianchetto Maroczy Bind with 6 Bishop E3. And the opening goes E4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, D4, C takes D4, Knight takes D4, G6, C4, Bishop G7, Bishop E3. Now take that down. If you want, you can come to this website yourself, and on the side here, it has a bunch of games that have started with this opening, and you can look at those and see what other moves were played from this position. That's definitely a great strategy to help with the openings. And there's also a list of possible continuations, so this can help. You can see there's only really one good move, or one move that was played a lot, that has been played a lot, which is Knight F6, so you could try that move, or write that move down. Alright, so I'm not going to spend too much time on each opening like I have on this one. I just want to get a list of openings that we should study. Alright, so that's the first one. It was b38. Looks like the next one's the same thing, but I'm just going to click on it just in case. I don't mind seeing it again. So this one was also the b38 Sicilian, accelerated fianchetto, Maroczy bind, 6 bishop e3. And it was e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, g6, c4, bishop g7, bishop e3. Alright, so let's go to the next one. Next one is b27, which is the Sicilian defense. And the moves go e4, c5, knight f3. Now this one has a lot more games because we didn't go into as far depth. And there's also, you can write these moves down too with the names. But you would want to use an engine to tell you if these are any good or which ones are good. They might all be good, or some of them might not be as good as others. Alright. So that was b27. Next one is b40. b40 is also the Sicilian defense. And it goes e4, c5, knight f3, e6. It's b40. Next is e36. e36 is the Nimzo-Indian classical Noah variation with 5a3. And it goes d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, queen c2, d5, a3. That was e36. Next is c46. c46 is the three knights game, and it goes e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3. That was c46. Looks like the next game is also c46. So for some reason he really likes this opening. And I'll just play it again. It's e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3. Next one is b27, which I think we already covered. Yep, it's the Sicilian defense. e4, c5, knight f3. Apparently that's a really good one. Alright, next is b30, which I am guessing, yep, it's also a Sicilian defense. And it goes e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6. Next is e46. e46 is the Nimzo-Indian with 4 e3 castle kingside. And it goes d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, e3, castle kingside. That's e46. Next is b07. Okay, this one's a little different. It has all kinds of lessons about. It's the perk defense, but it was b07 perk defense. But there's still a little board on the side here we can look at. We just have to see the moves ourselves instead of seeing it written down. It goes e4, d6, d4, knight f6, knight c3. Alright. That was b07, I believe. Yep. All right. Next is A20. A20 is the English opening, and it goes C4, E5. That's the A20 English opening. Next is E62. E62 is the King's Indian fianchetto variation, and it goes D4, Knight F6, C4, G6, Knight C3, Bishop G7, Knight F3, D6, G3. That's E62. Next is E81. E81 is the King's Indian, the same-ish, and 5 castle kingside. And it goes D4, Knight F6, C4, G6, Knight C3, Bishop G7, E4, D6, F3, castle kingside. That was E81. Now we are on A45. A45 is called the Queen's Pawn game, and it goes D4, Knight F6. It's A45. Next is C67. C67 is the Roy Lopez Berlin defense open variation, and it goes E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop B5, Knight F6, Castle kingside, Knight takes E4. That's C67. Next is B27, which I think we already covered. Yep, it's the Sicilian defense. And it goes E4, C5, Knight F3. It's B27. And the last one we got is E46, which I think we already covered. It's the Nimzo Indian 4, E3, Castle kingside. And it goes D4, Knight F6, C4, E6, Knight C3, Bishop B4, E3, Castle kingside. And I believe that's the last one, E46. That is the last one. So, again, for some reason, Hikaru Nakamura chose these openings. He used strategy, why he thinks these openings would give him the best chance to win. So he's done all the homework for us. Now, maybe if we're playing weaker opponents, maybe there are other openings that are better suited towards weaker opponents. And luckily, Hikaru has played some tournaments against weaker opponents this last coming year, so I might do a video covering that. I am curious to see what he played against them, what he thinks would give him the best chance of winning against lower rated opponents. But that's what we got for this video today. I'm probably going to cover the games that Fabiano Caruana played and the games that Gukesh played as well. I think those are valuable as well. I think I'm going to cover a lot of different top players and try to give people like a lot of different ways to go. I think you need to find I think if you can find a grandmaster that feels like you, that plays a style that you feel comfortable with, then you can just follow their games and go a long ways. It's sometimes it feels like we should pick Magnus Carlsen's games because he's the best in the world, but maybe there's maybe Fabiano has better actual openings than Magnus. Maybe the reason if Fabiano isn't good as Magnus, it's not because of the opening. Maybe that's his strong suit. That's what I've heard. Anyways, so that's why I'm curious to see Fabiano Caruana's openings as well. And then there's Alireza Firouzja. He's really tough, so I'm curious of his style. And Hans Niemann and some of the old grandmasters as well. Some of the old world champions. I'm curious as well. So there's a lot to cover, and I'm excited to do it. If you have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments of whose games you think I should cover or what tournament I should cover. Maybe the candidates. Maybe that would be a good one. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. There's definitely more to come, so you don't want to miss anything. And hopefully as I keep going, my videos will improve and I'll have better content. I'm trying the best I can, but there is a lot of competition out there, and I'm trying to produce content that hasn't been made yet. So I hope you have a great one. Enjoy the holidays, and see you soon.